All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to paint their door a vibrant shade of blue. Others have the need to decorate their bathroom with fish, anchors, and other nautical items. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
You know, we are still trying to figure out what is fueling our success. Let's talk.
Educate, empower, enable, impact. Thank you for tuning in to That Will Never Work, an award-winning podcast where we share inspiring information and personal experiences related to business and the entrepreneurial journey from those who are leaders in their respective field. Now, here's your host, author and business coach, Maurice.
Greetings. So, we're going to jump right into it today. One of the things that we sometimes don't understand that sometimes we don't understand the value of receiving feedback to help us grow in our daily lives. And I only can speak for myself. In a previous episode, I did speak about my grandmother and how her words, albeit it felt like it was the right thing to do, to listen to, or whatever it was, I didn't realize that some of those end up being more discouraging in some cases, in most cases, than those being constructive feedback. And in turn, I found out personally that it affected how I responded to those individuals around me. So when I explained to you previously, talking about your customers and your clients and those that are around you, sometimes you don't understand the importance of communication and how that affects how you move forward in life, period. So when we're taking the time to look at whether or not we're giving constructive feedback and or discouragement, I think there's a fine line. So when I take a look at my children, because now I'm reiterating hierarchy, right? And most of us can understand this as well, right? Hierarchy. So as we're talking to our children who are looking to us for leadership, guidance, safety, all the necessities of life, sometimes we have that moment or those opportunities to speak a thing in them that is not working for their betterment. So when it's time to say, hey, maybe you can do this or do that or whatever else, what words are we utilizing that can help them transition, right, from doing something that might not be the best for them to transitioning their mind or changing their minds to a place of maybe I can do this more effectively, efficiently, cohesively, whatever it might be, right? What are we saying to them to help them move forward? What I did find out, though, because of the environment I was in, being, myself growing up, that I oftentimes was ultra critical, thinking that I'm giving constructive feedback, but ultimately, I was giving them discouragement that was not beneficial to them, nor was it to myself long term. Because I had other behavioral challenges and issues, even though, and I'll just use this real life story of sometimes my son and his teachers would tell me his grades do not his grades do not correlate with his behavior. His behavior was one thing, but it was never reflected in his grades, and they could never understand that. And some of that was, again, how we spoke at home, what we focused on, and those type of things. Plus, him getting grades, it made him feel good to see an A versus not. So, sometimes are we really giving them encouragement versus discouragement? Now, let's go to our adult selves and in the workplace. Are we able to take the reviews that our supervisors give us as constructive criticism, constructive feedback, or does it discourage us? And I only can speak, again, for myself, my own personal experiences. There's been times where my yearly review would be attached to my increase, my yearly increase. And let's be honest, that review was not always the greatest. You're like, well, okay, what you said to me was not that major. How does that affect my increase? Just because, you gave me a 4, but what you said out your mouth, a 4 out of 5, but what you said out your mouth was actually worse than the 4. But yet the increase was really more of a 1 or a 2, if at all. So I never really understood that. Sometimes those type of things can discourage us. So how do we recognize constructive feedback versus discouragement? Now, I can't tell you what the formula is. I think it really is a person by person situation. The reason being, how do you feel that day? I could tell you right now, if I'm already in a crazy mood, more especially if I know that I'm getting that review that day, I'm already anticipating something negative. And sometimes recognizing constructive feedback versus discouragement, that's within ourselves on how we feel and how we receive it. Because that individual who's giving it could have every good intention in the world, but how do we receive it? How do we perceive it? So I think some of it, recognizing the differences, is recognizing in ourselves what day we're having. Also, there's a phrase that my mom would say, know your personnel. So that means that individual who's giving it, do you really understand where they're coming from? Do you know whether or not they're a good person or a bad person? Because, you got to believe who they are when they show you. So take the time, look at who's giving it, who's providing it, even pay attention to what mood they're in. That because there were some moments where I had gotten a review after someone else had just had the craziest exchange with another employee. I mean, I really thought that these individuals were going to come to blows, but how do you recognize that? And then, I go in and, again, you're telling me I'm a 4 and your words say like I'm a 2. Well, am I really doing that bad? But it's because of what day that they're having as well. So in order to recognize the feedback, take a look at the environment, take a look at the landscape, recognize where you are versus where they are. And then for those of us who have external feedback, such as a review, like let's say, as you hear, I'm an author, I have a book on Amazon. So if someone buys a book and put a review on Amazon, I don't know that person necessarily. I mean, I know who that person may be, and their background. I don't even know what their expectations were of even receiving the book or buying the book or whatever it is. But ultimately, are we able to take that information and not so much personalize it, but look at it from a place of growth? How do you grow from that? I take every moment, every situation as a opportunity to grow. I encourage each and every one of you to view life that way. Every opportunity is to grow. Learn your personnel. Learn what their environment is. At the same time, learn where you are. Understand it and be in touch with yourself of, hey, I'm feeling this way because of this way and because of that. So, thus and so, I am here. Thank you very much for listening today, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for listening. Follow Maurice Chisholm on social media to stay connected and check back weekly for new episodes. Until next time, that will never work. Or will it?